Imagine receiving a letter, not from a stranger, not from someone you love, but from the person you'll become 10 years from now. Would you open it? Or would you be afraid of what it might say? One quiet evening, I found an old envelope waiting for me in a place no one ever seemed to notice. My name was written on the front. The handwriting looked strangely familiar. I looked around. No one was there. With hesitant hands, I opened it. The first sentence stopped my heart. I am you, 10 years from now. I laughed at first. It had to be a joke. But the more I read, the quieter the world became. The letter didn't predict the future. It remembered the past. It spoke about moments I had buried so deeply that I convinced myself they no longer existed. The time I stayed silent when I should have spoken. The apology I never made. The dream I abandoned because I was afraid of failing. The people I slowly drifted away from while telling myself I would call them tomorrow. Every page felt less like reading and more like looking into a mirror. Then I reached a sentence I couldn't forget. You've spent years punishing yourself for a mistake that no one else remembers. I read it again and again. How many nights had I replayed the same memories? How many times had I convinced myself that one mistake defined who I was? I had become both the prisoner and the prison. The letter never told me to forget my past. It never said that my mistakes didn't matter. Instead, it asked a different question. If someone you loved made the same mistake, would you forgive them? The answer came instantly. Of course I would. Then another sentence appeared. So, why have you never offered that same kindness to yourself? I didn't have an answer. We are often gentler with strangers than we are with ourselves. We forgive other people for being human, while expecting ourselves to be perfect. And every time we fail, we quietly carry another stone. Until one day, the weight becomes our identity. The final page was almost empty. Only one sentence remained. The person you've been waiting to forgive you has always been yourself. For a long time, I simply sat there. Nothing around me had changed. The world was exactly the same. But somehow, I wasn't. I folded the letter carefully. Not because I wanted to remember every word, but because I no longer needed to. Some lessons aren't meant to stay in your hands. They're meant to stay in your heart. Maybe the greatest prison isn't made of walls. Maybe it's built from guilt, regret, and the stories we keep telling ourselves. The past cannot be rewritten, but it doesn't have to keep writing you. So here's a question. If your future self could send you one letter today, what do you think it would say? And more importantly, would you finally believe it? Sometimes healing doesn't begin when life changes. It begins the moment you stop treating yourself like your own enemy.